Those were great times. Just thinking back to 1986, how did I get introduced to Spector Bass? I was with Jeff Beck. We were both recording with Mick Jagger what was to be his Primitive Cool record. And we're rehearsing at SIR Studios. It just so happens that Kramer was there to show some instruments and to Jeff and I was fortunate enough to be able to have my tech, Pierre de Beaupart, mention to the folks at Kramer that, hey, Dougie's really interested in checking out Spector Basses. So fortunately for me, working with Jeff Beck, working with Mick Jagger at the time, recording an album, I was able to get what was at that time their loaner bass, which was a black Spector bass PJ configuration. That bass had been passed around a little bit. So fortunately, I got the bass, was able to record the album, and everybody loved the sound. It was great. That started my journey with the world of Spector. So now, 1987, record's done. I finally get introduced to Stuart Spector. He offers to make a bass to my specs. We go back and forth with neck profiles and body shapes and everything. And we came up with something that was really, really great. And that is this. This is a 1987 Spector bass that was made to my specs. I couldn't have been happier at that time. It's the first time somebody actually took the time to make an instrument that I already liked Spector, but to actually modify it to my liking. So there was that vibe. Right after that, during 1987, Stuart started making 5 strings. So at that point, I was able to get this bass, which is the 9th 5th string that Stuart made. And these were both made around the same time, somewhere within a few months apart. Again, thanks to working with an icon like Mick Jagger, thanks to working with an icon like Jeff Beck, and I was in Jeff Beck's band as well prior with Simon Phillips and Jan Hammer, it ushered me into the vortex of being able to get some things that I really needed, which were really good instruments. Again, these 2 instruments are like true champagne to me. I finally had the tools of something that I could use that across the board was great for all the different recordings that I've done over time. And with these instruments from 1987 forward, I was able to record with Seal, Madonna, Annie Lennox, the Rolling Stones, Joe Satriani, many different artists, many different artists. And each time I was able to record with these great instruments, it was always the engineers and the assistant engineers and the studios that I was in that also gave the thumbs up to the sound of these instruments. Because prior to that, working in New York City with passive basses, there would always be some challenges. So finally, I brought something into the studio that didn't take up a lot of extra time, in a sense, when you're trying to get set up for making tracks. So that was the beginning of what I call a great journey. And again, I'm still using these instruments to this day, but now we have something that is really new that I couldn't be happier to show to you.